What do you think when you hear the big names of the world like Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk? Well, I bet the first thing that will pop out of your head is that they all have huge bank accounts. When people think about wealth, it's not a shock that the first thing you think about is money. Take Tom Corley, the author of Rich in Habits, as well as Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, who quotes the saying, "The more money you have, the wealthier you are." But wealth is about much more than money. Many people get confused by this idea for so long that by the time they realized it, it had been too late. The problem with getting obsessed with that idea is that every time you achieve another milestone, you no longer feel the spark of accomplishing something. The point is, rich doesn't mean you are more happy. So here are 7 signs that might actually prove you're wealthier than you think. Number 1. You believe real wealth is not about money. As previously stated, a lot of people have vague definitions and even wrong concepts on what wealth should mean. Because of this, they fail to appreciate what they already have. Let's take the words of Michael Kay, author of the Feel Rich Project and president of Financial Life Focus, who said that one of the main reasons many people don't realize how wealthy they already are is because they constantly compare themselves to others. Many people easily think that being rich assumes that you need to have a big house, drive a really nice car, or have a premium gym membership card. But looks aren't all just that, as the driving force of true wealth isn't based on materialistic things. That is why it is important to think about your own definition of wealth. Most of the time, if you compare the income of an attorney and a mechanic, you'd probably come to the conclusion that the attorney is probably more wealthy. But the mechanic may be considered wealthier because he is smart and efficient when it comes to handling his finances. At the end of the day, wealth should be defined in your own terms. Number 2. You are not burdened with debt. In a statistic, according to a new Capital One CreditWise survey, 73% of Americans rank their finances as the number one stress in life. One of the biggest sources of financial stress is none other than debt. That is because a lot of surveys found out that a lot of people still have debt. Survey respondents reported having debt with an average whopping amount of $140,000. Additionally, 1 in 4 respondents are reported to have student loan debts, and a third of that also comes from auto loan debt. Other debts also include credit card debts, housing loan debts, and small business loan debts. So if you think you're rich just because you have a big house and a cool car, while still sitting in a big pile of debt, you're certainly not wealthy. Of course, this also means the other way around. You're probably wealthier than you think if you're not burdened by debt. Number 3. Your net worth is increasing. Your net worth can tell you a lot of things. In fact, it is one of the simplest ways to gauge your own financial success. A lot of people have calculated their net worth and end up coming to the conclusion that you need to improve your net worth. But improving it can seem very difficult. Net worth is calculated by subtracting all of your liabilities, this means what you owe, from your total assets, which is what you own. If your assets exceed your liabilities, then you have a positive net worth. If you end up coming to the conclusion that your net worth is increasing, then this is a good sign in knowing that you're headed in the right direction. If you're putting away more money on saving, this is an indication that you are probably becoming wealthier. Of course, this goes hand in hand when it comes to managing your expenses. If you got a raise in work today but also end up increasing your expenses, you're still moving backward. The key to understanding if you're wealthier than you think is knowing that if your income increases, then so does the amount you save. Number 4. You have a job with benefits. Sometimes, when you end up getting bored of your normal day-to-day routine at work and you end up hating your job, it's important to remember the value of your workplace benefits that came with it when you first started. It may not seem much, but health insurance coverage, contributions to your retirement funds, and even a paid leave can all contribute to your wealth. In fact, on an average income that employees receive benefits account for more than 31.7%. This is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Did you know that without these perks, you'd actually be paying more out of your pocket? From insurance premiums, retirement account fees, and losing wages for days off, Getting these benefits truly shows how wealthy you are. Don't believe us? An average annual premium for employer-sponsored health insurance for individual coverage is $60,000, while family coverage is annually around $18,000. Number 5. You have a strong social network. Being rich is all about having great friends. This is one of the great things the classic Christmas film It's a Wonderful Life has taught us. While your bank account may not be full, if you have a strong social network with the rich and wealthy, you're likely richer than you think. How so? Interacting with productive individuals enriches not only your body and soul, but also your finances. Building relationships with success-minded people will no doubt help you increase your financial wealth as they bring out opportunities as well as their own perspectives. Let's say you're friends with Warren Buffett. While it may come with its own perks, you'll no doubt feel inspired to improve both your routine and your outlook towards the world. He'll send you topics and opportunities to increase your wealth, and you can even call on him when you're making a decision on which company to invest in. If you don't think this is considered wealth, then you're seriously wrong. Number 6. You don't live paycheck to paycheck. Do you grind yourself each day just to get that paycheck and pay off your expenses? Well, that's exactly what living paycheck to paycheck means. Living from paycheck to paycheck is having your monthly income completely used for regular expenses to the point that you can't even enjoy some of it yourself. It also usually means not having sufficient savings for emergencies. This means when something unforeseen happens, like a medical emergency or losing a job, can throw the family's finances into chaos. If you don't live like that and are able to kick back your feet and relax, then you might be wealthier than you think. This means you have accumulated enough money to not worry about emergencies and that you have adequate retirement assets that you can now relax and enjoy your life. Because your finances are in good hands, you now have fewer problems in life. If you have learned to live within your means and make measures and preparations for any costly unexpected emergencies, then you likely have more wealth than someone who's earning more but blowing the big paycheck every month. Number 7. You live a meaningful life. This is perhaps something not everyone can relate to or even come close to understanding. And that is the beauty that you like what you do for a living. A lot of people would argue that liking what you're doing doesn't necessarily mean that you're rich. But most of the time, people who truly do enjoy their job are more likely to be successful than those who are only doing it for the paycheck. In the end, if you generously share your time and money to improve the lives of others, at the same time enjoy what you're doing, all of these signs indicate that you're wealthier than you think, because now your life has meaning. A quote from Corley clearly states that true wealth is measured by how much fulfillment you have in life. Living a meaningful life isn't measured by how big your paycheck is, especially if earning that paycheck requires you to do something you don't even enjoy and doesn't fulfill your life. Do you know the saying, not all superheroes wear capes? This also aligns with the idea that not all millionaires drive Lamborghinis and live in mansions. Actually, it may come as a surprise that they may live closer to you and can even be your neighbor. We're talking about the people in the world who live comfortably, who have emergency backups, and while they may be wealthier than you, they don't necessarily live like the extravagant millionaires that they are. In the financial planning industry, we call these folks millionaires next door. If you don't believe real wealth is not about money, or you live a meaningful life, and even if you carry little to no debt, a hard worker who is resourceful and aware, you can actually be considered richer than you think. In the end, you might understand that you're still considered a millionaire even when you don't feel like it.